Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm taking a look at the Israel Bible from Israel 365. This is edited by Rabbi Tuli Wise, and I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize if I did not. This is a Jewish Bible, so it opens from the left to the right, just like a normal Jewish book would. It comes with a dust jacket, but I actually like the look of the Bible itself underneath. It's a hardcover edition. So there's the information about it. Hardcover looks really nice. Looks sharp. Now it sits this way, but that means if you sit it this way on your table, then the name is upside down. I would kind of like to see it that way. Rabbi Tuli Wise did supply this in exchange for an honest review. So now it's a sewn binding, hardcover edition with a sewn binding and a single ribbon. Super thick paper. I don't know the GSM of this paper or the kind of paper this is, but it is normal book paper. This is not made like a Bible, it's made like a book. Made in Italy, printed and bound in Italy. I always like Bibles printed and bound in Italy. I'm a fan of that. So let's see. This is a parallel study Bible. So we have our table of contents, shows us what it includes. Now this is set up, since it's a Jewish Bible, it is set up in the Jewish order of books, which includes the 5 books of Moses, the prophets, the writings, and then it gives us some charts and some maps, and then our information. Starts off with the alphabet chart with pronunciation guide, and a lot of the names in this Bible do include pronunciation guide with them, so this does help you learn Hebrew. List of weekly Torah portions, list of Torah readings for special occasions, and then the introduction. And this takes you through all of the information about the Bible itself. For the English, they're using the New Jewish Publication Society version, but now they've modified one thing. They replaced some names with the traditional Hebrew names. It includes study notes. It has Hebrew transliteration and some maps and some Torah readings and some... Now the commentary is 4 different types of commentary. It has Israel lessons, Jewish lessons, and Hebrew lessons, and the commentary that is placed at the bottom of the pages, each one has a different icon for these lessons, and then the rest are just general comments. The commentary itself is not new to this Bible. It's edited by Rabbi Tuli, not written. So what that means is that he's taken commentary by rabbis and by teachers and prominent people in Jewish history and in modern day, and included that information as the commentary. Then we have blessings before and after reading the Torah. So we start with a book introduction, and most of the book introductions are just a couple of pages, and they include either a chart or a map or something along that line, and they include the main information about the book, some key points, and they also include teachings from prominent rabbis and what they have taught about the book. Those are interesting. Most do have a chart or a map or something along that line, and then we get into our text. Now, the text itself is a 9-point font with about 8, 9, 10 words per line, about 8 or 9 in that range, with lots of leading, lots of space between the lines. We have English on the left, Hebrew on the right. And then sometimes we will have a portion with a dark background, with a transliteration. Anytime you see a portion with a dark background, it has a commentary at the bottom of the page. And as you can see, sometimes it's the same verse covered. It doesn't cover a verse by verse or anything like that, so we don't have a lot of commentary. And most of them are short. And it gives information about who's doing the writing. And most do have a photo of a person or a place or a thing or something like that with a little bit of information. The commentary itself, it is from the Jewish perspective, and it's a lot of times how the text applies to Israel. That's the main focus of this Bible, is how the text applies to Israel. And I found the information interesting. There are a few places, I'm Christian, so there are a few places where I'm going to see the text as applying to the Messiah where they do not. Isaiah 9:6 is an example of that. So like always, I recommend using any commentary, in any translation for that matter, as reference and do your own study. But it is interesting seeing the comments from a Jewish perspective and how it applies to Israel. I found that fascinating. Wish I knew the GSM of this paper is very thick. It's in the 50 or 60 range, I think. So this is made like a book, not like a Bible. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of commentary, but there is quite a bit. And then along the edges here, we have an index. I've seen these on encyclopedias a lot, dictionaries. And then across the top of the page, we have the book name with English spellings for Hebrew and the English name. And then we have the Hebrew on the other side, and then it gives you the chapter. This is a verse by verse. It does not include any poetic setting or anything like that. Just plain verse by verse. So that's the main look of the Bible itself. I did find this commentary to be interesting. A lot of insights. There's one of the tables. A lot of good insights into how it applies to Israel. And now these are in the Jewish order, so we're not going to find Psalms in the middle like we normally would. We're going to find Psalms in the writings, which comes at the end. So here's Psalms. I like the Jewish order of books. It's one thing I liked about the TLV a lot, and a lot about the complete Jewish Bible. Now those are Messianic Jewish, while this one is not. They include the New Testament, and this one does not. And then ends with 1st, 2nd Chronicles, and of course they put the books together. How we would have 1st Chronicles, 2nd Chronicles, they see them as one book, which I agree with. This is a fascinating Bible. In the very back, lots of tools. We have biographies of the scholars, bibliography, a list of transliterated words, and this gives you the Hebrew name, the English name, pronunciation, and then the Hebrew spelling with Hebrew text. These words are used within the text. And then an index, kind of a small index, but it's very useful. Photo credits. I like that they include that so you know where the photos came from. Chart of Hebrew months and their holidays. Map of modern-day Israel and its neighbors. List of prime ministers of the state of Israel. Prayer for the state of Israel. Prayer for the welfare of Israel's soldiers. And I can't pronounce that. I don't know Hebrew. Not that well. So I'm not going to mess that up. And then you can find more information at theisraelbible.com. Now this includes more commentary, interactive maps, educational videos, photographs, lots of more information that you have access to. So yeah, this is a fascinating book. It is kind of large. A little over 6.5 by 9.5 by 2 and almost 2 3/4. 4 pounds, 14.5 ounces, in that range. So that's a quick look at the Israel Bible. It's a little confusing because it does open on this side instead of the other side. I do like the way this Bible looks. I like the way it's designed. I especially like having the Hebrew with the English. So having that parallel is interesting, and it's great for learning. And then also having the transliteration. The comments of course. Sometimes you're going to agree and sometimes you're not. But it is interesting to hear it from the Jewish perspective as it applies to Israel. That's very interesting to hear. And I like seeing the lists of scriptures, holidays, and things like that. So if you're interested in learning about Israel, if you're interested in learning Hebrew, this is a good Bible. So I will leave some links in the notes where you can make a purchase if you're interested, and where you can see more information about this Bible. Also, where you can see the written review at BibleBuyingGuide.com, where I'll go into more detail. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to answer. Thanks for watching.